this purpose, the AG report states, the Attorney General has not filed criminal charges against any of the priests for the Diocese of Grand Rapids as a result of this investigation. The second point was to determine if the Michigan dioceses were complying with their statutory obligation to report the sexual abuse of minors. The Attorney General's report for Grand Rapids does not specifically address in its findings the topic of diocesan compliance. However, most of the allegations of abuse detailed in the report were turned over to local law enforcement, local prosecutors, or the Attorney General's office directly from the Diocese of Grand Rapids. The investigation into the Diocese of Grand Rapids did not reveal any allegations regarding priests in active ministry, and again, no criminal charges were filed as a result of this investigation. The Attorney General's office explains in its introduction to the report, the allegations are summarized here, and their inclusion does not reflect a determination by the department that the allegations are credible or otherwise substantiated or indicative of a crime. During the 75-year period in the report, more than 1,000 priests have served in the Diocese of Grand Rapids. The report details the reported abuse of 152 victims by 51 priests. The vast majority of reported abuse cases in our diocese are very old, with the most occurring between 1970 and 1979. The AG report finds that almost 3/4 of the accused priests are known or presumed to be dead. For the clerics who are living, or presumed to be living, none are in active ministry in the Diocese of Grand Rapids. Of course, every instance in which a minor was abused is one too many. However, it's important to underscore that the report also provides details on consensual relationships between priests and adults. While these actions are immoral, they are not in violation of any Michigan law. Including and counting these adult relationships in the report inflates both the number of accused and the number of minor victim survivors of clerical sexual abuse. All alleged conduct involving a minor occurred before 2002, the year of the United States Conference Catholic Bishops enacting the Charter for the Protection of Children and Young People. Finally, the AG report released today confirms that the Catholic Church's safeguards outlined in the Charter are working. I would now like to focus my remarks on two matters. First, the victim survivors of clergy abuse, and second, what the Catholic Church is doing to prevent abuse from happening again. First, in regard to victim survivors, I offer my deepest and most sincere apologies to the victim survivors of clerical abuse. I am sorry that a church leader in whom you placed your trust misused his power and abused you. Priests are ordained to serve in the person of Christ himself, which makes the sexual abuse of minors incomprehensible and particularly harmful. These men have broken a sacred trust. They have betrayed Christ and done violence to his beloved children. I would like to especially recognize and thank the victim survivors who have courageously come forward to share their stories. Your willingness to share about the harm caused to you is a testimony to your strength and your resilience. For those who have not come forward and still hold this pain deep in their heart, please know that we continue to pray for your healing and welcome you to come forward when you are ready. You deserve to be heard, and you deserve healing. We keep the victim survivors at the heart of our response and at the center of all of our actions. The diocese has a professional victim assistance coordinator who is available 24/7 to answer calls from survivors, arrange for counseling and support, and encourage victim survivors to report abuse to local law enforcement. The diocese also reports the abuse to law enforcement, and since the beginning of this investigation, to the Attorney General's office. I have met personally with individuals who reported experiencing sexual abuse by a priest. I can never fully understand the depth of their suffering or know what they still carry within them today. But I will continue to do my best to listen and to offer my prayers and my support. Once again, as a bishop of the Catholic Church, I apologize to every victim survivor who has been abused by anyone affiliated with the Catholic Church. Many of you suffered in silence and in darkness for years, and for that, I am truly sorry. Now, the second point. What is the Catholic Church doing to prevent abuse from happening again? And for this, I would like to refer to what we call the Charter. As I mentioned before, the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops enacted the Charter for the Protection of Children and Young People in 2002. The Charter is a set of strict protocols for handling and preventing clergy sexual abuse of minors. Let me detail a few of the protocols of the Diocese of Grand Rapids that have been in place for the last 20-plus years as part of the Charter. The diocese maintains a zero-tolerance policy. Anyone suspected of abusing a minor, child, or vulnerable adult is removed from public ministry until a civil and canonical investigation is complete. Every allegation, even those made against a deceased member of the clergy, and regardless how long ago the abuse allegedly occurred, is immediately reported to the appropriate civil authority. The diocese has a victim assistance coordinator who assists victim survivors in the healing process. Additionally, I have met personally and will continue to meet with victim survivors. Every allegation of sexual abuse of a minor is presented to our diocesan review board, even if criminal charges cannot be filed. The review board is comprised of a member of the clergy and 6 lay members, including a retired judge, a retired FBI agent, psychologists, and a social worker. The review board makes a recommendation to me regarding each case that's brought before them. The diocese adopted Virtus, a reputable children's protection program focused on the detection and prevention of sexual abuse. Anyone who will work with children must complete this training beforehand, along with a background check. Nearly 33,000 clergy, teachers, staff, and volunteers in our diocese have participated in this mandatory program since 2002. Additionally, the students in our schools participate in age-appropriate training to learn how to spot and report inappropriate behavior. Finally, the diocese takes our promise to protect seriously. To ensure that we retain top safe environment practices, the diocese has participated in and has passed annual child safety compliant audits conducted by Stonebridge Business Partners, an independent third party, every year since 2002, and we participated in and passed an audit just a few months ago in August. Today's report shows that the Church is not immune to the brokenness that we find in the human condition. We are not a perfect church, but we are committed to learning from our past. Again, I ask forgiveness for the sinful wrongdoings of priests named in this report who violated their sacred office, and for any way that church leadership did not live up to its weighty responsibilities to lead and protect. While I cannot undo the sins of the past, I can commit as bishop to continue to be open and honest on this matter. We well know that the vast majority of our priests, past and present, are good men who live out their priestly vocation with fidelity and dedication. For those priests who are listening to this press conference, know of my profound gratitude for your faithfulness and invaluable ministry. The Diocese of Grand Rapids remains committed to the promises made more than 20 years ago in response to the Charter. I thank our priests, our teachers, our laity for their vigilance in this important work of keeping our young Catholics safe. We will continue to work to ensure that victim survivors are heard and that they have what is needed for them to find healing and peace. To anyone who suffered clergy abuse and has not yet reached out, please share your story with the Office of the Attorney General, local civil authorities, or the Diocese of Grand Rapids Victim Assistance Coordinator. You deserve the opportunity for healing. Please join me in praying for all who have been impacted by this shameful chapter of the Church's past. May our continued actions ensure that we keep the most vulnerable among us safe and secure. Thank you very much.